everyone, and welcome to my new series, Building Basics. So in this little mini series, we are going to build a small house. It's not going to be a starter home because I want to show off how I build my homes without having to abide by a budget. So in this first part, the only thing we're going to really be doing is building the walls and putting the windows and doors on the home, and then in the next part we will dive into a little bit of decorating, and we will also then discuss roofing and landscaping in the final part. And that will be it for the basics. I'm not going to use any cheats or any special techniques with the building basics. What I will end up doing is another mini series on more advanced building techniques so that people who have never really been big builders in the Sims series can slowly work their way up to it. So for now, this is how I typically start building. Is I will find a house plan or some sort of inspirational picture of a house online. I'm going to link in the description the website that I use for my home plans. I have a small home picked out for this tutorial, and I'm also going to link that in the description so that if you feel like it, you can build along with me. Now, in The Sims 4, building has become a lot easier because in The Sims 3 and 2, and even in 1, which I didn't play all that much, once you built your home, it was kind of stuck there. So say I started building my house over here and then I found out I needed more room on this side. I'd have to demolish it and rebuild it, where with The Sims 4 I can just pick it up, plop it down. So in that case, it doesn't really matter where you decide to start on your lot, but you should pick out a front, so you could either use like this side or this side. I think for this tutorial I'm going to use this as the front of the lot because the house is it's kind of a square, but it's I want to say that it just will fit better this direction. At least I feel that it does, but feel free to, like I said, you know, if you do build along with me, you can still spice things up a little bit with your own. And in The Sims 3 and 2, you basically just had this wall tool where you would draw your walls and plop them down. So when I have a house plan that I'm going off of, what I like to do is write numbers for tiles based on what size I think the room should be. So I have this house plan sitting in front of me, and I've already wrote down the numbers that I need. So in The Sims 4, the way I prefer to do it is actually to pick up the little square room tool. And I'll just plop it down, because like I said, later on I can move it. So for this little foyer, it's actually 3 by 3. And also, for those of you who don't like the grid, you can turn it off with the G, or you can turn it back on to help you when you're counting and such. So let's actually put the walls all the way up while we're building, just so that we can kind of get a better idea of it. So this is the foyer. We're going to pick up another square, and it's going to go right behind this. It's actually going to be our living room. So the living room goes 3 past the foyer, so it's actually 6 wide. And then it's 4 tiles deep. It's actually a little deeper than that, but we're gonna leave it there for now because it goes, well, let's see, I think it goes about 2 tiles deep into the home. But then if you click this, this actually goes to the 4th tile. This is going to be sort of like a mud room that leads into your kitchen, and I think this is about 6 tiles, so I might have picked a small lot. And see, we might actually have to rotate the house. So let's see, 2, 4, I did 7, so let's bump that down a notch. Although, wait, hold on. It's 2, 4, 6, which I guess it does fit that direction, but I think we're gonna have to rotate it because I must have underestimated the size of this house, which is okay. So now it goes 8 tiles wide. So we've got 3, we need 5 more, so 2, 4, 5. And then we're going to plop down the master bedroom that's right next to it. And it's flush with it, so this is also 5 tiles wide and 6 tiles long. So there's 3, 4, 5, 6. And now we've got the bathroom, which pokes out just a little bit, and that is 3 by 3, same size as our foyer. And then the other bedroom is also inset, so that is 5, hold on, let's see, yeah. So this goes in here a little bit, which I guess I didn't quite think through that, but that's why a lot of times I like to plop it down and then I kind of rework the plan as it goes. So we're gonna just put a little square in here. This is gonna be our hallway. And now what I want to do is figure out, because this is 2, 4, okay, here we go. It needs to be 1, okay. So that's gonna be, there's actually a staircase in this plan that you can make an unfinished basement. So I think what I'm gonna do is just make that room a little bit smaller than I had initially written in the plans. Like I said, sometimes you have to do a little bit of tweaking. But now we're also, there's a small porch on the front. We're just gonna plop that down here. And so now we have the basic shell. So now that we've got it on there, we can see that this isn't really the ideal spot for our house. So we can actually pick it up and move it around if we want to. We could just move it forward, backward. It actually probably wouldn't look too bad right here, and then we'd have a big side yard. It's just kind of what you want your Sims to have. So see, here's the big opening, and that would make it so that the main area you go into the house, there is no, well, no, I lied. There is a back door entrance, but I think for the sake of this tutorial, we're just going to make it a big window in the dining area because I think that would look a little bit better. So let's see now. We can, once you have your home done, if you want to put a foundation on it, then you can use this tool to go up. You can make a really tall foundation. You can make a really short foundation. Let's see, 1 click up. Just really depends, and I really like that they did this because sometimes I felt in The Sims 3 and The Sims 2, the foundations were all the same height, and while there were constrained floor elevation sheets to make them different, those could be a real pain in the neck sometimes. So I'm gonna go with this kind of almost in the middle, but not quite, so a little shorter foundation. And so the last thing that we're really gonna do in this tutorial is we're going to do doors and windows. So based off of the plan that I chose, I'm going to put in the doors. So the front door is actually 1 tile, but I don't like 1 tile front doors. I think that they're, I don't know. I just like having 2 tiles, and this is kind of my favorite door. So I think I'm going to choose that one, but before I choose it for sure, I'm gonna just look at some of these other ones. Because this home is supposed to be sort of a country style home. So I think that that fits the country theme pretty well. Then over here in the mudroom area, we have another door. And since this door right here has some curved window type things, I'm going to use a single door over here for that. Now windows, just pop over to the window area and then pick whatever style you want. I actually really like these windows because they let in quite a bit of light and they're single tile, so I can have a little bit more flexibility with those. So there's 2 windows here and 2 windows here. And then there is 1 in the foyer. And then over here in this little bedroom, the reason I had it 5 was there's supposed to be 1 window in the middle, but because it is a bedroom, I think 1 window is not quite enough, so we're going to do 2 here. And then the bathroom, there's actually a window as well, which you could either leave off, or if you're more comfortable with like a smaller window in the bathroom so that people can't peek at you, you know, it's kind of whatever you want it to be. So now the master bedroom, it has 2 windows, and they're actually supposed to be side by side, but I think that I want to do 3 windows because it's a master. Come on, window, there we go. It didn't want to snap to the wall for whatever reason. So that's what we're going to do there, and we're kind of going to do the same thing here in the dining room. Although if you wanted to use bigger windows to let in more light, you could. So like this is another one of my favorites, although there we go. I was going to say it wasn't cooperating with me. It just doesn't really go with those windows. I also sometimes use these bakery windows to let in more light. But I think for now I'm going to just stick with these because it's much easier for me. And I'm going to do 3 there. And then there's 1 in the kitchen. And that is actually it for the windows and the exterior doors. Like I said, there was a door like right here instead of having a big window for the dining room. But because we don't really have a backyard and it's so close to these people's yard, you know, I don't really want to do that. So I'm just going to have, there's actually a staircase, which we will go ahead and add some stairs to the porch as well. Just pick out, you know, whichever stair floats your boat. And some people like to put them out like this, which is fine. It just, for me, unless I need that extra step, I like to put them flush against it here. And then I love the stair tool for The Sims 4 because you can just drag it and it's so easy as compared to The Sims 3 and The Sims 2. Sometimes the stairs could be really temperamental. So now here we go. We've got our pretty little stairs so that our Sims can get in the house. And now the last thing that we're going to really do in this tutorial is we're going to add some interior doors and archways. I was trying to think of what I was saying. So again, you can choose any of them that you wish. For me, I like this style a lot. So I think I'm going to put 2 of these here to let in a little bit more light, and then we're going to put 1 here to get in there, and we're also going to put 1 right there so that you can get from the foyer into the living room. Now for the interior doors, you can choose any door that you like. If you have a really big mansion, you know, you can use these double doors and they're really nice. We could actually use them for the master if we wanted to make it a little bit fancier, but because this is such a small house, I don't really feel that that fits. You know, a lot of building is your own personal preference, so just because I'm doing something one way doesn't mean that you necessarily have to do it that way. There's also this door, which is also a double door, but it looks a little bit smaller. And I actually kind of like that, so I think we're going to use that for the bedrooms, and then we're just going to take this little one for the bathroom so that it leads right in there. And that's it for the interior, really. Another thing that I do like to do before I get into the interior decorating, I always like to put lights on the inside so that I can see, because when you go to pick out wallpaper and stuff, it's very hard to tell what it's going to look like. So let's just put these big saucer lights in. You know, just plop a couple around so that you can see the inside a little bit better. Later on, if you have other lights that you want to replace them with, then you can go ahead and do that. Pretty easy, but at least when you're decorating, you can see. So there we go. So far, here's our little house. And it doesn't look too fancy yet. I know one of the complaints that I get from a lot of people is my houses always look like boxes. And you know, that's kind of how your house should start out looking, and then as you go on and you add your roofs and your landscaping, it should turn into more of a home. It also depends on the type of house, because some homes have more, you know, angles and different things, and then others don't. So you can see in the background, I actually have built a couple homes. This is the newbie house from The Sims 1. This is the broke house from The Sims 2. And then across the street, this little house is actually my brother's real life house, which used to belong to my grandparents. And I really wanted to build that in The Sims 4 because it's a pretty complex house. It has a basement and everything, and it was really hard to do in The Sims 3. So I wanted to try it out in The Sims 4. It was so much easier. And then this is just a little house that I liked the plan, and I built it, and it just kind of sits over here. But anyway, that's all for this part. If you have any questions, just ask me in the comments and I will try to explain things as much as possible. Hope you enjoyed yourselves, and I'll see you all in part 2. Bye!